Freaky pigs, strange chicks, world affairs, polar bears, fake news, nice shoes, big boobs, jack dudes. All of these things and more as I sat on the shitter. Things that I saw on Twitter.
Why don't you take care of this stuff? This is your segment.
Alrighty, so we'll start with some Super Bowl Media Day stuff. And
wait a second, do you have a prompter? Look at stuff. He looks like he's reading off a prompter. Has he taped his stuff to, or it's on the corner of your laptop?
Yeah, I actually have it. My notes called up on the side.
I don't know how to do that.
There, so
I don't know how to get the multiple screens like that.
Well, we'll get there.
Crazy.
We'll get there one day.
Okay.
Patriots beat writer Mark Daniels reported that during off-season workouts, Gronk had to run sprints, record them, and send them to the Bucs. So to get out of it, he'd record himself running sprints in different shirts on the same day, and then he'd send the videos on different days.
Smart.
So this whole thing is like it's extremely smart or whatnot that he did this, but he's not actually getting out of any work, is he? Didn't he just run all these sprints all in one day?
I think that's what he was trying to do. He'd go hard one day and then take a day off. Unless that he didn't want to see, did he want to see all the runs or did he just want to see him running? So Gronk just ran like a couple, then ran a couple more just so the guy knew that he was at the track.
I imagine they'd have to tape the whole thing or else what's the point of taping it all?
Right.
It's also, he said that it was to ease into the off-season workouts, but how is it easing in if on the first day you just go completely ape?
That's Gronk.
Gronk has never been like the sharpest tool. He's very entertaining, but he's not, I don't think he's exactly a geniac with these things, but I appreciate the effort on something like that. What else you got, Stoff?
Do you want to do the QAnon believer apologizing to Anderson Cooper?
Yes, I do want to do that.
Love it.
Let's do that one since it's a, let's say a phrase you don't hear every day.
Did you at the time believe that high-level Democrats and celebrities were worshiping Satan, drinking the blood of children?
Anderson, I thought you did that. And I would like to apologize for that right now. So I apologize for thinking that you ate babies. But yeah.
Yeah, that's a unique group, that QAnon group.
You're very gracious.
I read a bunch of things this week and listened to a New York Times pod about QAnon and how they took Inauguration Day. Because if you read anything about QAnon, the general belief that Inauguration Day was the day all the things they've been talking about for 3 years were going to happen. Mm-hmm. That they truly believed, and we're not talking about a few thousand people here. We are talking about millions of people, right? Yeah. And they thought that in the middle of the inauguration, Trump was going to declare martial law and that the military was going to come in and arrest Joe Biden.
At CNN.
Everyone on that, like as Hillary. So the New York Times published, I guess, audio. So basically in the blogs of QAnon, people are making audio messages or YouTube messages or whatever. And the Times were publishing the comments as everyone arrived. They're like, oh, good. Hillary and Bill are here. Oh, Obama's here. They're going to arrest them all at the same time. And so as the whole thing went on and Biden was inaugurated, I hate to laugh because it's almost sad, really. The conversation was like, hey, damn, Shelley, when's this going to happen? Right? And I guess Trump, when he left before he got on his plane, he was standing in front of 17 flags, and 17 is a big number for QAnon. So they thought that was a signal that he was about to take his plane and, I don't know, ram it into the White House or something. But it's just, and then when it ended, the guy who is the main guy, like this mysterious Q guy who started it all, has not been heard from very much in the last 2 months. But there's one guy who's sort of heading up the QAnon, who a lot of people believe was the Q guy. So he's been sort of heading up the whole thing. He just sent out a message after it was over saying, well, there's a new president. It was a good time, guys. We'll see you later. Yeah. He just basically said it's over.
Like he didn't even...
No, he didn't. All these people who dedicated 3 years of their lives to this thing are like, what? What do you mean it's over? Now, there are still some people who've, believe that, you can't, they've invested so much that they can't get out of it. So in fact, Biden signed 17, what are they called? Executive orders
Executive orders,
on his first day in office.
Oh,
So as
he's
soon
the
as
new
he did
Messiah.
that, no, they all believe that Biden is in on it now. And Trump
Oh.
let Biden become president as part of the plan, and that now Biden will help him execute
Brilliant.
Oh my
eating
God.
babies pedophilia ring or whatever. So
You would have thought that whoever's like Biden's number, like the person like who's handling Biden's stuff, they might have picked a different number of executive orders to sign.
That's a good point. That's a
You're
good
like,
point because
They
of
would
the
have
17.
known about
Yes.
17 being the big number. Like, what the heck were they thinking? What's
Good point.
Jimmy?
Yeah.
Oh,
I lost
Jimmy,
you. I lost you guys just for a
we
second.
lost him
But
to Siri.
yeah, I don't think they're talking about. I don't think they're talking about QAnon, Puffy. I don't think they're worried about QAnon in Biden's office too much. But anyway, or maybe they did it on purpose, as just because they knew they'd rile them up. But if you believe in QAnon,
Don't.
please don't. Spend some time with the Rubber Boots podcast. Spend some time on betsafe.net.
betsafe.net.
Yeah. We're not political. I don't care what your political beliefs are, but it's not going to happen. And people do not eat babies. Okay. And they're not,
I mean, if you're gonna
there's not a pedophilia ring in the bottom of some pizzerias.
put your beliefs in something, try to make sure there's some sort of substantiated, truth behind it, or
Right.
Very true.
Perhaps we should come up with a conspiracy theory that is a little more realistic that we can spread and just see as a science experiment.